Looks like we're going to go. And then we'll see what our heroes are this time if we actually get in. Looks like we did. So we have Merlin, Gwen, APOC, and Mask. Looks like we probably got an okay one now. Okay. So we're not picking APOC. We're probably not picking Mask. I have liked Merlin, and I think Gwen is also okay, but I don't think Gwen is better than Merlin here. So we're just going to take another Merlin. I find Merlin to be pretty consistent and in a good spot for me, so we're going to take it. Not an awesome start on Merlin so far. I don't really care for these supports. I think we're just going to take the chicken this turn. And figure out what our board is going to look like after this turn. So I don't love it, but after this round, it might do a little bit better. They got 4 Glory round 1, which is really good for Atlas. That's a great start on Loki. Okay, so we can guarantee that the buff goes on one of these two, which I think is fine. So if we sell this, buy this, sell this, we can Eenie, and then we can buy the cut purse. We may as well put this in the back. Likely this won't get a slay, but there's a chance against Pied Piper. Not an awesome start. We're a little bit late on the Happy Little Tree, but it's okay. This outcome makes sense to me with the Forbidden Fruit. So we could pick up another cut purse. We could also just free roll. Could pick up the cut purse and then free roll. I don't think I'm really invested in that. I think we're just going to free roll. And then we'll buy this and the frog here. So we're likely going to be getting out of this cut purse since it has not had the opportunity to grow at all. We're a lot less interested in this if it has not caught any buffs. So we're probably going to sell it next turn when we're on 7 gold since we're against Sharebear. And see if we can piece together a little bit stronger board. This was a good turn. Picking up Cindy plus Frog Prince and also getting the buff on Happy Little Tree is a good spot to be. So this was a good round. We are against Sharebear, which is typically very strong at this point in the game. We'll have to see what they've assembled. It looks like an awful lot. That was really good for us, though. I don't know if we're going to be able to break this egg. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, we're a little short on breaking the egg, which is unfortunate, but it'll be fine. I wish I could wake up this Sleeping Princess. That would have been really nice. I don't hate picking up the Spellweaver on Merlin. And then maybe just the Sleeping Princess. Maybe we roll and look for a better 2. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. Well, I'm definitely buying the Spellweaver. Like, that's happening 100% of the time. And I'm definitely selling this cut purse before I buff to try and hit one of these. So let's do this. Okay, so win on the Happy Little Tree. I think we're just going to buy Romeo as a 5/3 here. And then we're going to put this in the back as a dragon buffer. I don't mind Sleeping Princess. If that was the good buff, I would have certainly cast it. Since it was just Witch's Brew specifically, this is fine. We basically just bought this as a stat machine. And if we find a Juliet or something later, it's okay. This sits here. This can trade that way. That's fine. So we win this combat. That's good. So we've basically stabilized. I don't hate or love the Good Witch. I'm kind of neutral on it here. I don't mind it because it makes our happy little tree a little bit better. We could pick up 2 donkeys, but I don't really love that. We could Eenie. If we get the donkey, we could grab the pair. I'm not a big fan of the donkeys. This is a 4-6 worth of stats. Sorry, a 6-9 worth of stats, which is a lot. It's probably better than just rolling. I think we'll buy it, and then I think we're going to roll once, and then kidnap. And I'm trying to decide if I want just a 5-3 and a 10-14, or if an 8-11 is plenty. 10-14 is a ton of stats, and may get an entire extra hit. I kind of want to position it like this. Not killing the stag here is unfortunate. Luckily, we're in a spot where our back row ranged can actually kill this if it shoots it, which is great for us. So what did we steal? We stole the tiny, I believe. Not the best, but it does give us an extra gold for this turn, which is fine. We're against Beauty. I don't really love or hate For Glory. I don't know if we're strong enough to win here, so I think I'm going to roll to see if there's a better targeted spell, perhaps. The Healing Potion is really good here. Let's buy the Spellweaver. We're going to cast the Healing Potion, certainly. I'm trying to decide if I want to sell this tiny. We're going to roll anyway. And I would really like this not to catch the buff. Alright, let's roll. Alright, so this is great. So we're going to buff another one of these. I think we're going to split it up. And we might end up picking up one of these stags, depending. We could Dragon's Nest, sell the Cinderella, and just pick up the dragon. This is a 7-6. It's about as big as this. It doesn't really benefit us that much. Let's just take Book of Heroes. It's really good against Pied Piper here. Let's reposition our units a little bit. I think this is fine. I don't think I want to lock for the Good Witch. That's unfortunate, actually. We get a little bit of stats on Romeo, which is nice. And if we attack this way... Man, that's too bad. We actually had a chance of getting an additional hit on stats. It looks like we're going to lose this combat then. Those are some really unfortunate runouts on combat. That's too bad. That's really too bad. I like the additional Happy Little Tree. I don't hate the Friendly Spirit. So we'll get the Happy Little Tree pair. We'll take the Friendly Spirit here. We can probably just Toil and Trouble. Trying to decide if I want to put this Friendly Spirit in over, like, the Romeo. Feels really bad with this Good Witch and the Happy Little Tree, because we really want to support it to give it a little bit more help. But we really would want it to attack first, too. I suppose we can just attack first with the Cindy. Is this the Romeo just better to attack first with? I'm wondering. Just curious. It might be. This is just better than the Frog either way. This is the most amount of stats that we can present, basically. Maybe I do this. Lead with our shitters. No, I don't want to do that. Let's do this. This is the positioning that I think I'm happiest with. These will be our evil, and this will be our good. I would like to see if I can find... Okay, so that's decent. This might give us an option of getting some potential additional scaling on our Happy Little Tree, which is really nice. Our Friendly Spirit died early, which is too bad. And we did proc the Nutcracker, which is also pretty bad for the lobby. It's fine for us. We get to scale our Good Witch as well. Hit over here. Okay, that's great. We get another hit on this, which is a lot of free stats. And then this won't be able to beat the ranged. So even through Cat's Call, we actually still end up getting 2 happy little tree triggers, which is great. I'm going to take the Spellweaver and probably the Monster Book. Eye of Ares is interesting, probably not what I'm looking for here. We could take Telltale Quiver, gives us 3 attack on our Spellweaver. Bad Moon's probably not it. We're really not doing Slay. I'm going to take the Quiver, even though it's not super good for us right now. I'm going to play this Monster Book here. We probably want to put buff either on the Happy Little Tree or the Friendly Spirit directly. And then maybe roll. This is certainly a good buff. This Romeo's got to go. It's pretty shit, but this Happy Little Tree is also pretty shit, so I think we'll put the buff here. We may not end up keeping this around forever, but I think that's a good place for the buff to be. This healing potion might be worthwhile. It's worth +1 too. Probably not worth locking though. We'll leave the Cindy in for now and the Romeo, but these are likely gonna... This is gonna have to get replaced next turn. Okay, this is unfortunate because our Happy Little Tree can get scammed here. Yeah, that's too bad. So we basically lose most of our stats, and I don't know if our range unit on its own is going to be able to carry this. It can do a lot, but I don't know if it can carry it alone. Yeah, especially not if we don't hit this. So if we hit the Sporko, we can tie. We'll take that. We'll take ties here. The Sphinx is obviously incredibly strong, but we take ties in that basically all day. I am going to triple this. That's a good pickup. Let's see what we find. We could Ring of Regeneration for a little while. It'll give us a lot more staying power. Our board is strong, but it's not that strong. So I don't necessarily hate that. Let's do it. I kind of want this Creeper to get our Happy Little Tree a bit more stats. We're also going to flip this up, and then we're going to roll. Let's roll again. If we had found... Interesting. So, I think it's probably by this tree. Which means we're just selling these two and not casting another spell. This stag is fine, but we don't really need to run it, I don't think. We can just do this. Like, this is going to be shitty next turn anyway. I think we can just run it like this. Like, obviously I know that the Creeper being in the front is not ideal, but that's not the best spell. So they're going to get an extra 10. 10. Our tree is pretty big, though. And it's getting a lot bigger every time that it gets hit, which may be enough to actually beat this. With the ranged helping as well, of course. Perfect. So we get that. This scales up. We get the Ring of Regeneration. So now we're set up in a good position to pick up Shoulder Fairies if we see them. Do they have any additional EXP? Not that I can tell. I don't hate the Nian, but I don't think that we need it in this spot. We need Shoulder Fairies. That's a good pickup. I think Shrivel is a good spell to cast here. Let's roll. So here's another Shoulder Fairies, so we're definitely taking that. So how are we positioning this? We lose a little bit of stats if we do it this way. Considering putting the Creeper in the back, just to get more attack here, but I don't think that's what we want to be doing. Figuring out positioning on this is a little tricky. I might even take this Turkish Delight next turn. Yeah, I don't think, if we put this in the back, like, we just don't have another unit to put in. Because this would be here, this would be up here, and then I guess this would be in. So then we would just not run the Heartwood Elder. I think we can run the Heartwood Elder for this turn still. Which, if we want to do that, then we definitely want a Creeper here. Well, that's insane for us. Fireball here would have obviously been much better, but sometimes it's not in the cards. So this combat's going pretty good for us. They did get another EXP. Ranged hitting the other one would have been fine, but our Shoulder Fairies should be good enough here. Okay, so we put a little bit of damage on Sharebear. We get a bit of extra gold this turn, so now that definitely makes me want to buy the EXP, because that'll put us directly to 6. Let's buy this first. Hit the Heartwood Elder. Not the best target, but I don't think that we're scaling another Heartwood Elder. I don't think that that's what makes us good here, or makes us strong. Not even sure that I want to run this one at all. It is nice because it scales this. I also like the Creeper because it gives us additional scaling. This gives us a tier 4 pair. So if we do it, we wouldn't be able to run the other Shoulder Fairy or the book. It's one or the other that we could do if we decide to run the Creeper, and we could cut the Friendly Spirit. So I'm trying to decide if health is more important, which means we would want the Creeper, or attack is more important, which means that we would want the... if we want health, it's the Elder. If we want... I think it's probably fine like this. And then we just don't buy that. I don't think I care about another monster book. We're trying to get off of this when we go to 5. So they are also Shoulder Fairy, but they have been scaling their shit up a lot more than we have, which is not great. We have a lot more attack on our Shoulder Fairy in the front here. So that may be enough with our ranged to still allow us to kill them here. If we kill them, that would be great in this spot. Okay, so we got them. They were very, very strong. And that Cupid almost got us. But we were a little bit bigger, and now we're on 6. Looks like we found our upgraded Shoulder Fairy here, which is awesome. Looks like Beauty's dead. I don't think we really need 9th book here. It's probably just Staff the Old Toad. Otherwise, we're just putting buff on the Heartwood Elder or the Creeper, and I don't think that really does anything. Let's just take Staff the Old Toad, get rid of Book of Heroes. And then I don't think we Falling Stars. I think we just roll. We could take another Shoulder Fairies here. We probably just do the Eenie. And then we sell something for it. Just to make sure that we get the scaling on the Weaver. These are pretty weak. We're likely going to be getting rid of them soon, but I do like getting additional attack on the Weaver until we get more of the tree stuff. Okay, so the Ring of Meteors is pretty tough here. If we get another Falling Stars, that would be unfortunate. So we got to kill something, which is nice. They do have a giant Medusa and a giant Tweedle here, which we have enough stats to kill that, so our Happy Little Tree dies. So we're going to have to shoot this Medusa. Alright, good combat. Okay. So we don't really have anything that can easily give us a triple with this Mix-a-Wizzle. We can probably just mix the Creeper into a 4, and then if it's one of the ones that we actually have, it would help us to triple it. I don't particularly care about that. I'm fine with buying another spell. We don't really want to make anything good. Let's roll. I appreciate that, Austin. Thanks for the sub there. So I think we're done with the Spirit. We're going to take the Ashwood to start scaling it, and I think we're going to Stone Skin on the Happy Little Tree. So we have plenty of attack still, but the Ashwood is still very nice. We don't really need this Creeper at all. We're just not going to be interested in it. But we can definitely get some more health. Health is going to be our limiting factor more so than attack, because we do have this giant Spellweaver, so... Tiger just died. They were playing a bunch of evil nonsense, so we're not really sure kind of where they're at. They have a pretty strong board here. They have a lot of very strong evil minions. That was pretty good. As long as we don't get scammed by the Siren, we shouldn't take any damage here either. It looks like they died with the Nian with the map. They could easily still scam us with this Siren here. Nope, looks like we got them. They are already dead, obviously. So I do think we take the other Ashwood for sure. And I think we flourish the Happy Little Tree again. We could grab the Storm King. It is pretty big. It's probably bigger than the Heartwood Elder. These units are very large. I should probably put them in the back now. I don't know if we need the Storm King. We probably don't need the Monster Book anymore. Maybe that's the secret. This is already big enough. Now we're getting plenty of attack on our Ashwoods. We don't necessarily need much more health either. I think we're cutting this, and we're playing the Storm King as well over the book. So let's sell the Yaga and the book here, and we'll play the Storm King. We can probably put the Happy Little Tree in the back. We just lead with like a decently strong front row, and then we just have like a powerhouse back row. I think that makes sense to me, because these are all still very strong, but our back row is clearly bigger. Yeah, I was a bit worried that they still had the Medusa, which they did. Their back row is quite strong for ranged. It's not great for us, but I think that we tie. Alright, so they live, which is not ideal. I would have preferred to have killed them in that spot, obviously. We don't know how big the Sharebear has gotten. They were dwarves the last time that we fought them. Which, if they're still dwarves, that's kind of scary. So we'll use our Potion of Heroism, give us a little bit more attack, and we'll roll. If I could triple this, that would be pretty nice. I don't think that we need the Apple Tree. It is possible that the Smite is good against the dwarves. Though, if they found... Cupid might be fine, too. If they ended up finding... Lordy, it's probably not good enough. I think we kind of need an Echo Wood. That would be what would make us a lot stronger here. Another Shoulder Fairy is probably fine. It is the equivalent of a 60-80, basically. Which I think we can just sell these and buy. It is bigger than the Storm King, and it's much bigger than these Ashwoods, so we're just going to run it instead of one of the Ashwoods for now. I probably should have flipped those, given that we know that they're on dwarves. They might be a bit too big for us here. How big are their dwarves? Very large. So they found a Knighthood for a Lordy. So we can keep up with them, but we're going to have to reposition a little bit. We take a bit of damage there. We might end up losing this to Red Ream here. The scam from the Fates is interesting. I don't know how strong this Loki was, so we're going to still keep trying to find the triple Ashwood here. I don't know if I care about the upgraded Storm King. I don't actually think that I do. I think the other stuff that we're working with is going to be more valuable. Let me look at how big their health was on their board. Pretty big. I think we want to flourish here and then roll. And not finding our upgraded Ashwood has really been problematic. I don't think I can buy this turn. But this is a really big upgrade to our board. If we find Ambrosia, then we're probably going to be fine. So I don't want to sell the other Ashwood to buy it now. That doesn't make any sense. Because then we're just down a unit. So I'm just going to clear out one spot. We're going to sit like this. We should be strong enough at least not to die against Loki. And then we'll reposition our board. We might not even need the ranged unit anymore. Okay, so they're basically the same as Red Rame, except just like weaker in every way. They are very large. I mean, they have a big-ass dwarf board, and they are getting a second Tweedle that respawns. So... okay, so Red Rame did win there, but we get a huge power spike this turn, whether it's Ambrosia or Hand of Midas. It is a gigantic power spike here, so I think we can get rid of probably Ring of Regeneration for the Hand of Midas. And then we'll pick up the Echo. So we know that we can run the Echo in the front. The Storm King is probably a bit too small now. Like, it makes me want to run the other Ashwood to make these both 40 attack. Makes this one have more attack as well, which I think is a decent idea. I'm going to roll. So our next piece that we need to find is we need to triple this Ashwood, or we just need to find more of these. The Echo may be enough, because it's like 400... so it's like 800 health and a similar amount of attack, maybe half that, so 400 attack, which should be enough to trade with most of his board. So I think we're in a decent position here. We do have to still run the Spellweaver for now. We probably should have maybe just cast Fog. They're probably going to beat us with the Feather here. I don't know if we have enough stats. Depending upon where that ends up. Yeah, that's rough. So the Feather beats us, but just barely, probably. Okay, so we can still get stronger. Shrivel is good against them now, as well. Shrivel can delete one of the Echo Woods. We could change our hero. I think an offensive spell is going to be more useful. So how much attack is this? It is 44 on both of them, which means it's 45, so it is a bit weaker than the Spellweaver. Getting offered a lot of beds here. Really wants us to change our hero power. We can take another Shoulder Fairy that makes our Echo even larger. It makes our trees a lot smaller. I think this is what we have to do. And then maybe just put one of these in the back. And I don't know if there's a better way that we can approach this. That's really not good for us. I think that's too much. Yeah, that's too much. Unless we can kill one of these with our other units. I think that these are going to be too many stats for us to deal with. So we really need to, like, not have that happen. Yeah, looks like we're dead. Unfortunate. We really needed to find a triple there in order for us to be able to beat them. That sucks. We'll take our second, but that's unfortunate. Merlin. Yeah, that's pretty gutting. Not finding a Shrivel or an offensive spell is pretty rough. I mean, I wonder if we change our hero power, if we have a better chance. So if we find something with treasures, so Morgan would have been really good. First attack wouldn't have done anything. Let's look at the heroes to see if there would have been another option for us that really would have made a difference. So based on what was left available, Midas would have given us the extra attack here, which would have made a bit of a difference, but not a ton. But Midas would have been playable because it triples the Ashwood, even if we don't get treasure for it. So Midas is fine. Gwen doesn't do anything. So Grandmother would have been 5/5 to our whole board, which is somewhat relevant. I don't know if that would have been enough. Fates would have been a little bit more stats, similar to Grandmother. I think that's basically it. Like, not many of the other ones really do anything for us. I mean, other than Morgan, right? To get 2 tier 6 treasures. So I think that's the best that we could have assembled there, outside of trying to maybe gamble for that. Yeah, that's too bad. I mean, we basically fell behind a bit there. Like, they found enough Lordies that it was problematic, right? And we only had a 60 attack ranged, which means that our Shoulder Fairies only really had 120 attack, so they were like 120 200s, which is nice, but it's just not quite enough. And our Ashwoods just weren't quite there. Which is unfortunate, obviously. A first would have been much better in that position. We've been getting pretty unlucky on our last few turns, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we would have needed to be bigger in that spot. Probably just treasures. Like, the fact that we had no treasures and they respawned one of their 400/400s is what cost us. Because we could beat both of their Ashwoods, but not in that configuration, right? Because the Tweedle respawning, giving the extra stats, plus the double Ashwood, or the double Echo, was too much. Their back row wasn't that strong. We could have competed on the axis of the back row. It's possible that I just needed to scale up the trees more to just have higher attack, maybe. But we'll take our 32 points here, right? We have 32. And hope that that's enough.